Good morning students. This is 12th standard botany video class, video 6. In this video, we are going to continue the lesson reproduction in plants. In the previous video class, we have seen what is reproduction, types of reproduction, that is asexual and sexual reproduction. Under asexual reproduction, we have seen different methods which is seen in the higher plants and their advantage and disadvantage. Then we have started sexual reproduction. How higher plants which are showing the sexual reproduction in different stages. First stage is pre-fertilization. Under this topic, we have seen male sex organ, androecium, microsporogenesis, formation of microspore, development of anther and TS of anther. Then we have seen male gametophyte. That means how male gametophyte which is formed in the pollen grains. So this pollen grains which is reaches into the stigma and fuses with the egg or female gametophyte or female gamete which forms the zygote. That process is called fertilization. Today we are going to see female gametophyte and their development. Dear students, this is chapter 1, asexual and sexual reproduction in plants. In this lesson, today we are going to see female sex organ. Dear students, gynoecium is the female reproductive organ which is present in the flower. The other name of a gynoecium is called a pistil. The pistil which consists of three parts, that is ovary, style and stigma. The pistil which is derived from the basic unit is called carpel. So this carpel only afterwards which is modified into seed. Inside the ovary, they are having the ovules. So these ovules only afterwards modified into seed. A slender stalk-like portion of the gynoecium is called stigma. At the tip of the stigma, the slender stalk-like portion of an gynoecium is called style. At the tip of the style only they are having oval-shaped body is called stigma, where the pollen grains are landing. The ovules are present inside the locule or chamber and also attached or embedded on the tissue region is called placenta. This is the structure of gynoecium. Ovary, style, stigma. Basal portion is called ovary. Slender stalk-like portion is called style. At the tip they are having stigma. Stigma is the landing platform for pollen grains. Gynoecium, that is carpel, arises as a small papillae outgrowth of meristematic tissue from the growing tip of the floral primordium. That means bud stage. At a young stage, the gynoecium which is arised in a small papillae. Papillae means hair-like outgrowth. of meristematic tissue, that is which consists of growing tissues from the growing tip of the floral primordium. So afterwards only it is modified into ovary, style and stigma. The ovules or megasporangium arises from the placenta. So microspore or microsporangium. Here the ovule or megasporangium arises from the placenta. The number of the ovules may be vary. Some of the plants, the ovules are 1, example paddy, wheat and mango. In some of the plants it is many, example papaya, watermelon and orchids. This is the female reproductive part of an organism, that is plant. Next we are going to see structure of megasporangium, that is ovule. So ovule is also named as megasporangium, which is protected by 2 coverings is called integuments. Dear students, in 10th standard itself you have studied structure of ovule. It's an important question both in theory as well as the practical. That one only we are going to see in this paragraph. Ovule, which is present inside the ovary and embedded in the tissue is called placenta. That ovule or megasporangium, microspore or microsporangium. One more question. Ovule or megasporangium protected by 2 covering is called integument. That means the outermost layer of the ovary protected by 2 covering layers is called integument. The mature ovule consists of a slender stalk-like portion and a body. A stalk of a ovule is named as funicule or funiculus. With help of this stalk only, the ovules are attached to the placenta. The funicle, in which region attached to the body of the ovule, is called hilum. That means the portion or a place where the stalk is attached to the ovule, that point is called hilum. It represents the junction between ovule and funicle. That is the point connection. The angiospermic ovule is the inverted ovule. தலைகீழா இருக்கக்கூடியது inverted ovule. The funicle is adnate, adnation, conation. We have studied in 11th standard. Adnation means the floral parts which is attached together, that is said to be adnate. Connate means the floral parts which is attached to the other floral whorls. So here the funicle is adnate or joined to the body of the ovule, forming a small ridge-like structure is called raphe. ஒரு மாதிரி மேடாக ஒரு பகுதி ஃபார்ம் ஆகும். That is said to be raphe. The body of the ovule made up of parenchymatous cells which is present at the center is called nucellus. The nucellus is the reserved food material. It stored large amount of reserved food material, and also it's giving to the growing embryo for nourishment. The integument which encloses the nucellus completely except at the top region where it is free and forms a minute pore or a hole is called micropyle. So the integument is not completely enclosed the nucellus. Some region it leaves a minute pore is called a micropyle. This is the structure of megasporangium. In some of the plants, the number of integument may be vary. Normally, the ovule which are protected by two outer coverings is called a integument. But some plants, the number of the integument may be vary. Depending upon the number, the ovule is named as unitegmic. That is, it consists of only one integument. Bitegmic, that means it is covered with two layers. Next one, the basal region of the body of the ovule, where the nucellus, the integument, and the funicle mute or merge, that region is called chalasa. Normally, the topmost region is said to be the micropyle and the basal is said to be the chalasa. It is the inverted ovule. So when you are going to see the structure of the ovule, we can able to see chalasa at the top and micropyle at the base. Here, the basal region of the ovule, where the nucellus, integument and funicles are merged or attached together, that region is called chalasa. Dear students, see the diagram. This is the structure of ovule. The type of the ovule is inverted ovule because micropyle is at the base, chalasa is at the top. But we have to explain that chalasa is the basal region and the micropyle is the top region. This ovule is surrounded by a two layer, that is called integument. The two layers are not completely surrounded the central parenchymatous tissue called nucellus. That region which leaves the small opening at the top, that is named as micropyle. At the center, they are having the nutritive tissue made up of parenchyma is called nucellus, which stores the large amount of reserved food material. Then, the stalk of a ovule is called funicle, where the funicle is attached to the ovule. That point is called hilum. Then the integument, which is attached to the funicle region, which forms a small ridge-like structure, is called raphe. Vascular supply is also present inside the ovule. Then, opposite to the micropylar region, where the basal region of the inverted ovule, where the funiculus, integument and the body of the ovule are attached together, is named as chalasal region. So dear students, that is the structure of ovule. Under the microscope, we can able to see the view like this. It's given in the second diagram. This one only you have seen in 10th standard practical examination under microscope. Dear students, the basal region of the ovule where the integument, funiculus and micropylar region join together to form the region is called Chalasa end. Then opposite to the Chalasa end, there is a large oval sac-like structure in the nucellus region, which is facing towards the micropylar region, is called embryo sac or female gametophyte. This female gametophyte only develops from the functional megaspore within the nucellus. In some species, the integument may be vary. If it is one unitegmic, tenunucellate, the inner layer of the integument may become specialized to perform the nutritive function of the embryo. So, in some species, the inner layer of the integument, which is act as a nutritive tissue, that is the function of nucellus is done by the integument. That types of embryo is named as tenunucellate. And also, this region, the integument which is act as a nutritive tissue of the embryo sac, which is named as endothelium or integumentary tapetum. Example, Asteraceae. I also given the question to copy down in your notebook. What is endothelium? Write its function. So the answer is, in some of the plants, that is unitegmic tenunucellate, the inner layer of the integument, which has the cells. So these special cells which are act as a nutritive tissue of growing embryo sac, which is named as endothelium or integumentary tapetum. Dear students, don't confuse that one. Endothecium. Endothecium is the innermost layer of the anther, which is elongated, having the special type of cells to form the primordial cell. This primordial cell, that is archisporial cell, which undergo mitotic division to form primary sporogenous cell and a primary plasmodial cell. Then primary plasmodial cell undergo meiotic cell division to form the 2 to 5 layers in the anther wall. That is epidermis, endothecium, middle layer and tapetum of the anther wall. But here endothelium, that means in unitegmic, that is only one integument layer which is protected the ovule. Some specialized cells are giving nourishment to the growing embryo sac is called endothelium or integumentary tapetum. Example, Asteraceae. Dear students, the types of the ovules also divided into two based on the sporogenous cell, based on the position of a sporogenous cell. The sporogenous cells are hypodermal with a single layer of nucellar tissue around it is called tenunucellate type. So sporogenous cell means what is that one? Microspore, mother cell. So and megaspore, mother cell. A mass of cell afterwards act as microspore, mother cell and megaspore, mother cell. It's named as sporogenous cell. In some plants, this sporogenous cell is hypodermal in function with a single layer around the nucellar tissue is called a tenunucellate. Normally, tenunucellate ovules are very small nucellus because it is surrounded by only one layer or one integument. That's why they are having very small nucellus. Another one, crassinucellate. Ovules with a subhypodermal contains the sporogenous cell is called a crassinucellate type. These ovules are fairly large nucellus. It has large nucellus. This is the important 3-mark question. Differentiate between tenunucellate and crassinucellate. Once again, tenunucellate means the sporogenous cells are hypodermal, surrounded by a single layer of nucellus tissue is called a tenunucellate. The nucellus is very small in tenunucellate type of a ovule. Another one, crassinucellate. Sporogenous cells are subhypodermal in origin. Nucellus is large nucellus. These ovules are having large nucellus. That is said to be tenunucellate and crassinucellate. Another region is also present in the ovule. One is hypostase, another one is the epistase. This is also important. Differentiate between book inside question. Tenunucellate and crassinucellate is the book back question. Hypostase and epistase is the book inside. Differentiate between question. Kindly note it down in your notebooks. Group of cell found at the base of the ovule. Hypo, which means base, epi means top. Okay. So, group of cell found at the base of the ovule between chalasa and the embryo sac is called a hypostase. A group of cell which is found at the base of the ovule. Base means what region? Chalasa. Between the chalasa and the embryo sac is called a hypostase. And the thick-walled cells found above the micropylar end, above the embryo sac is called a epistase. That means a thick-walled cells which is found above the micropylar region and above the embryo sac. That is called a epistase. So, two type of region is also present in the ovule. One is hypo, that means base. Another one is the epi, that is the top. So, a group of cell which is found at the base of the ovule between the chalasa and the embryo sac is called hypostase. The thick-walled cell which is present above the micropylar end and above the embryo sac is called epistase. This is the structure of a ovule and their parts and function. Dear students, see the diagram structure of ovule. At the top, that means basically it is a basal region, chalasa end. Then a minute opening called micropyle at the top. So two type of region or a tissue which is present, thick walled cells present above the micropylar region and above the embryo sac is called epistase. In the chalasa end, a group of cell which is present between the chalasa end and the embryo sac which is called hypostase. Dear students, structure of ovule is the book back 5-mark question. The diagram of ovule is also very much important for 3-mark question. So kindly note down in your textbook. If you are having any doubt in structure of ovule, please ask me over phone. I will clear it. Next, we are going to see the types of ovule. Dear students, ovule also classified into different types based upon the orientation, form and position of the micropyle with respect to the funicle and the chalasa. So, orientation, form and position of the micropyle in respect with chalasa and funicle region. The most important ovule types are orthotropous, anatropous, hemianatropous, campylotropous. First one, orthotropous ovule. In this type of the ovule, see the diagram. The micropyle is at the distal end. At the same time, the micropyle, chalasa and the funicle are arranged or lies in a straight line, vertical line is called orthotropous. All of them are in a same position. When you draw a line, straight line, they are coming in the one straight vertical line. So this type of ovule is called orthotropous ovule. Example, Piperaceae and Polygonaceae. Next one, anatropous ovule. In this ovule is inverted ovule. In that inverted ovule, the micropylar region and the funicle region are lie side by side and also very close to each other. So this type of ovule is called anatropous, which is commonly found in dicots and monocots plant. Next one, hemianatropous. Here, the body of the ovule is arranged in the form of transverse and also right angle to the funicle region. That is said to be hemianatropous. Example, Primulaceae family. So these are all the three types of ovule: orthotropous, anatropous, and hemianatropous. Next one is the campylotropous ovule. The body of the ovule at the microplar end is curved, அப்படியே வளைஞ்சு போயிருக்கும், and is more or less than bean shaped, curved, as well as the shape of the ovule is look like in the form of bean shaped. The embryo which is present inside the ovule is also curved. The different region of hilum, micropyle and chalaza are adjacent to one another. The micropylar region only oriented towards the placenta. Example, Leguminosae. Apart from this orthotropous, anatropous, hemianatropous, campylotropous, two more main types of ovule is also found. One is amphitropous, another one is the cercinotropous. First one, amphitropous. The distance between the chalaza and the hilum. What is hilum? Stalk of the ovule which is attached to the body of the ovule in particular point. That region is called a hilum. So the distance between hilum and chalaza is very less. So the curvature of the ovule is in the form of horseshoe shape, nucellus. So the curvature of the ovule leads to horseshoe shaped nucellus which is present at the center. Example, Alismataceae. So the distance between hilum and the chalaza is very less. So curvature of the ovule leads to horseshoe shaped nucellus. That is called amphitropous. Example, Alismataceae. Next one, cercinotropous. The funicle is very long and surrounds the ovule. Example, Cactaceae. Normally, integument is covered by the ovule. In this type of ovule, funicle is also surrounds the ovule. Example, Cactaceae. So these are all the special type of ovules. Amphitropous and cercinotropous. Amphitropous the nucellus is horseshoe shaped. The distance between chalaza and hilum is very less. Example, Alismataceae. Cercinotropous, the funicle is very long and surrounds the ovule. Example, Cactaceae. Dear students, this is the diagram of campylotropous. See, in campylotropous, the shape of the ovule is bean shaped. That is the embryo which is present at the center. Due to the curved nature of ovule, the nucellus is modified into bean shaped. The embryo is also modified into bean shaped. That is called campylotropous. Next one, amphitropous. The chalaza and the hilum distance is very less. So the nucellus which is modified into horseshoe shaped structure. Next one, cercinotropous. The funicle is long and surrounds the ovule. That is called cercinotropous. Dear students, I hope have you all understood what is female sex organ, structure of female gametophyte, that is ovule, And also types of the ovule depending upon the sporogenous cell's position, that is steninucellate and crassinucellate. The tissues which is present in the ovule, that is hypostase and epistase. And parts of a ovule: chalaza, micropylar region, embryo sac, nucellus and integument. Then types of ovule also we have seen based on the orientation, form and position of the micropyle, chalaza and funicle. Special type of ovules also we have seen, that is Amphitropus and Succinotropus. Remaining we will see in the next video class. God bless you. All the best, children.